All right, everybody, we're joined by Steph Curry, the point guard of the Golden State Warriors.
You see what I deal with, Steph?
And he has been for over a decade. Steph, it was a year ago we came in here and talked to you. You guys obviously went on a championship run. It's been a little different this year, but, I mean, do you think you guys got a run in you?
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, this has been an interesting year. Some highs, a lot of lows, and just trying to figure out who we are, what our identity is, and we obviously have maintained confidence and faith that we can peak at the right time, and if we get into a playoff series with whoever, that we're tough to beat. And then it's just about who can play and get the 4 wins and then do it over again. So it's always been the recipe. Last year was an amazing journey, an amazing run. This year we've had guys in a lot of different roles and some newcomers, and for us to be the champs and have to take everybody's best shot all year, and some self-inflicted wounds that we've had, games that we should have won. So with all that said, absolutely, we feel like we are a team that's a force when we're locked in on a specific task of trying to beat a team 4 times in a playoff series, and obviously we need to get there and finish this year strong and hopefully stay out the play-in, but that remains the same.
Now, Steph, last time we saw you, we talked about the Jackals. You said you keep receipts. You shut everybody up, and I know it's a team game, but do you just sometimes think about if you win this one, if y'all get it done, you from a personal standpoint would have 5. That would put you past LeBron, up there with Kobe and Duncan. How do you not think about that?
I mean, that's why we work. It's not that you think about you definitely understand the list that it puts you in every time you get another one, and understanding like the historical context of it all. But that is the motivation is always just how much better can I get individually. It sounds cheesy as hell, but it's like literally how much better can I get? What is the challenge of this season? And to that first question, do we have a belief that we can do it? And until proven otherwise, absolutely. So whatever that comes with that, hopefully potential accomplishment, and the greats that have been champions over and over and over again, and the 5-timer list or whatever it is. You imagine what it would feel like, but the motivation is just always what you can do. So that's why continue to try to play at this level and be grateful for the opportunity that even at 14 years in and the level that I'm trying to play at, that is a really realistic goal.
Steph Curry joining us on 95.7 The Game. One of the themes this year has been the old guys meshing with the young guys, and then there's the word disconnect has come up. What I want to ask you is, when you, Draymond, and Clay came into the league, you were lucky in a way because you got drafted by a team where you could play right away. Young players now get drafted by the Warriors. They can't play right away. How difficult is it for a young player, both coming onto a great team, but also coming onto a team that plays differently than any other team in the league?
Both difficult challenges, but then I would ask myself, and I mean, you can ask those guys. We all have different journeys, and how we got here. Me, Draymond, Clay, and I guess me starting with some rough years in my rookie year, second year, dealing with injuries, all that type of stuff. If you told me I was coming into a team that legit could be in a postseason and was chasing a championship, I felt like I would have that same adrenaline rush and excitement about what it would require of me to do that. I know it's not easy. I'm not saying that. It's just if you think about playing basketball at the highest level and what you're playing for and having realistic chances to chase championships, like that to me is all that really matters. I know, human nature says I want to prove myself, and, some guys have different motivations and goals, and our young guys have been amazing in terms of their approach and dealing with, the struggles of championship expectations and aspirations and growing up in front of a fan base that has, extremely high expectations because, we've been in that environment for, the last 7 years. So it's interesting to live in that space because it's what's required right now. We have a core that's been through the ringer and has shown that we can win at the highest level, but we do need those guys to take those leaps to keep us in that conversation. And, my message to everybody is, it's all worth it. And, everybody's going to shine if you bring, your best effort to, do what coach is asking you to do, understand how we play. There's a little bit of sacrifice involved, but I think the benefit at the end is worth everything, and you'll be well suited to understand what winning basketball is like for the rest of your career. A lot of guys don't ever experience that, so it's kind of whatever you kind of buy into.
Steph, let me ask you this. He kids me every day because I come in. We got a saying on the show. I react to new information. If it's a good day or a bad day, I'm just going to keep it real. And he's like, nah, you can't do that. But I'm like, I'm human.
Right.
So let's just say there is no Wiggins. Jordan Poole. He gets, I think, overly criticized. And then I give him his flowers. Like last year, he was phenomenal. He did a great job. But he's so, like, the fan base is torn. Do you ever put yourself in his shoes knowing that, okay, here's a young player, he made the strides, and there you are, the Splash Brothers, two of the best shooters. Do you ever, pull them to the side to kind of guide them? Like, do you see any young Steph Curry and Jordan Poole? Because he gets a lot of hate when it's bad and a lot of love when it's good.
And all of that is a part of the experience, because what I try to tell him is, you're in this stage because you helped us win a championship last year. I know Clay the other night pointed at a banner.
I love that.
And that's real talk, but it's also people talk about you because they think you're great, and either the attention that you get, or Clay hyping you up in that type of press conferences, because we all feel that your value, whether people rock with you or not, whatever it is, and how volatile it is on a day-to-day basis. That's all a part of the NBA experience. Me, Clay, Draymond, we went through all of that before we were champions. Mine was, injury-based, or could I be a point guard, or could I lead a team, or was I strong enough, and this and that. And you show little bright spots, and then you fall on your face. And you show some bright spots, fall on your face. It's just now with championship, flavor around here, like it's magnified, hundredfold.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so, again, in his first 4 years, he's had an unreal experience. He's been, first-round draft pick to
G League
to coming back, helping us, finish out that condensed season, 15-5. He was a part of that rotation, was playing amazing. To becoming a starter the next year before Clay got back, to being a reserve and having to figure it out, to then helping the championship run. Like, that's a crazy experience in 4 years. And this year's been tough for him. Like, emotionally, trying to manage his expectations and getting to that next level, and it just comes with the territory. Thankfully we got the contract done, so he's taken care of on that front, and the expectations continue to rise because of that. It's all a part of it, but how he responds, and you've seen the way he's been playing all year, that shows you who he is. And there's still got to be growth, because we all feel like we can all get better. The way we think the game, the way we physically show show out there on the court. So it's all a part of it.
I love it.
And we've all been through it.
This is like the first time in a long time that you guys have had a little bit of uncertainty that is coming up, whether it's Bob's contract, whether Draymond's going to opt out or not. I'm not asking if you know or not. What I'm asking is, if there is that uncertainty, how does that play into are you conscious of that during this season, that there might be some changes going into next season that at least will be more dramatic than any in the last 10 years?
I think we can all acknowledge and keep it real that had we not won a championship last year, it might have been a little bit – those questions would have been a lot more every day, I guess. Yeah. But, when you prove that you can win, then you kind of can hold off the dogs in terms of, how hard it is to do what we've done and keep this together for as long as we have. And I still feel like we can. I still feel like, obviously we understand how important Bob is. We understand how important, Coach is, our core, Draymond, Clay, myself, Andre, even though he's had a rough year with injuries and whatnot, he's been extremely valuable behind the scenes and helping maintain our culture. But it's proven that it can win, and you don't really mess with that. So I feel like as long as we can continue to prove that, it makes the conversation a little bit easier. But we know, like, it's a business. We all, I got that. I'm not the first person to say that or acknowledge it. So it's just a matter of making sure that there's trust and a singular focus on what we need to control now, or what we have under our control now in terms of trying to win at the highest level, and then let the rest kind of settle when that time comes.
I got to believe each season is its own entity.
Absolutely.
And last year you guys started off 18-2, no matter where you at, home or away. But, Steph, talk to us about the road woes. You know, is that something that you guys talk about while you're on the road? Is that like been the biggest title of the Jam when you think about and look back on this regular season as it comes to a conclusion?
Honestly, I'm still confused about it. I don't really
What
understand.
happens and what's not happening?
Yeah, early in the year, we had, I think the expectations from last year to this year, and you realize, we had 4 guys who were a part of the rotation in the playoffs that weren't here. Belly, Otto, GP at the time, and D-Lee, Juan. So we had guys that, knew the system. You probably didn't even have to have a training camp, and we could have rolled it back and understood how we were supposed to play. You add some, guys that were taking another step in their early careers and being a part of rotation. Things just didn't go our way. We had, mixing rotations. We had, guys in different combinations early in the year, just trying to figure out what worked. And usually you can learn through winning through that. But for whatever reason, like I said, we were getting everybody's best shot because we had the championship target on our back. We were trying to, figure out who we were. And to your point, this season, this team, this identity. And that kind of set the tone where you started, 0-8 or something like that until you finally got a win. And for us to be defending champs celebrating a win in Houston like it was a playoff win was kind of hilarious. But I honestly don't know. But it also doesn't give me any fear going into a playoff series that we can win. I really feel like that both can be true. But just for whatever reason, it just – What are we? I don't even know what our record is. 10-9 and something.
We got a test for you coming up.
Unbelievable. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, boy.
I have no idea.
All right, so there's a joke between Guru and I.
It really ain't a joke.
He's like, Steiny, they're playing Minnesota on Sunday. If they lose, Minnesota
Steph
jumps
knows.
over them. They drop to 7. I'm like, they don't know all that stuff, the players. And he goes, what are you talking about? They know exactly. I'm like, look, when we go in there Thursday, I'll bet you if I ask these guys their record, where they are and who they would play, they wouldn't know it.
Looney was 3 for 3.
Looney's the only guy. Looney knew it. Looney knew.
GP got 2.
Looney knew you guys were in 6th or whatever.
So, I did know we were in 6th.
40 and 37.
We're 40 and 37. So we have 10 wins on the road. Is that right?
9.
See, I overshot it.
9.
I had no clue.
You know who you'd play if the season ended today and all?
Sacramento.
Oh, see.
Yeah, I do know.
There we go.
Would that be like a benefit to both you guys in a way? The travel, like Draymond said.
What they said was absolutely right.
It is.
If you can nitpick a part of like playoff preparation and maximizing rest in between games and just the familiarity of our bus rides up there and all that, like that would be ideal. It's not saying anything about Sacramento as an opponent, but he went through the whole thing.
Yeah.
The travel that we had to go through and back and forth, and even starting on the road, most likely because we probably won't have home court advantage. Like it'd be nice to start as close to home as possible.
Yeah. When I have you ever thought of the magnitude of like what you guys are actually trying to accomplish this year? And what I mean by that is your first title was 15. This would be 2023, and you have the same core, essentially. Now, KD came for a couple, but it's still the same core. Any dynasty that you look at, there's always an iteration, a next kind of iteration. Like, that's why I'm so skeptical that you guys can do it again, because you're trying to win back-to-back titles at the back end of a dynasty. Like, it's never been done before.
What we did last year, I don't think it's been done before in terms of taking, being for good reason. We had 2 guys that were, Clay had his injuries. I was hurt for a year, but we were the worst team in the league for whatever 50, 65 games, whatever it was. Missed the play in the next year, and then ran it back with me, Draymond, Clay, Andre, and a very talented cast of characters that helped us win, and the pieces fit and it made sense. So. Until we get beat, we take the skepticism and we run with it because
that's not hating.
No,
and it's not slander.
Look at you.
It's somebody say this is what I say.
The camera's right here. When you said skeptical, I was like looking. And my eyes might have squinted down a little bit.
No, here's kind of where I'm coming from. Sometimes I think the fans have gotten so accustomed to you guys winning, and they're just saying, "Oh no, they're going to repeat." And all I'm trying to do is say, do you realize how hard and historic it would be if they can pull this off?
Absolutely.
Like that's all that's where I'm
think
at.
about it, though, that I guess when you ask the question about do we realize what we're trying to accomplish, winning a championship is hard. Like it's supposed to be just winning one, let alone whatever the narrative is on trying to add to that. So I guess my question: are you still taking the field?
You know what?
Look
how about
at
this?
He
First of all,
don't
how do
know.
you know that?
I know everything.
Look at it.
Okay, so I'm gonna be.
I have my money on
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
He know.
I mean, you could be my best friend right now and bail me out with every Warrior fan who can't stand me. So, yeah, I bet him 100. I took the field.
Absolutely.
But you know what? I called it off last week.
Oh, you did?
I did.
He gave me the 100.
I put $100. I said,
oh, yeah.
I still got it.
you know why? And here's why. And I'm serious. Like, I don't have to root against you guys.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be you guys win around and then I'm like,
you're pissed off.
Because I'd rather win the bet than see you guys win.
absolutely.
Because I'm that competitive.
I respect it.
So now at least I can watch you guys. All right, objectively without any kind of rooting interest. By the way, it's I think it's the 40th anniversary of Keith Smart's game winner in the 1987 National Championship.
My guy.
Yeah, your guy.
Steph,
I was like, you stuck it to me early.
I didn't have many opportunities to hit game winners under Coach Smart. So
and people are getting on. No, you didn't. People are getting on Jordan Poole and his turnovers, and I'm like, man, Steph was a turnover machine early in his career, especially at the top of the floor. Keith Smart used to hate that.
He hated it. I still throw those same hook passes. I'm just a little stronger. I throw them faster.
The other one last night or the other night was pretty nice to Clay.
Oh, that was nice.
That was nice.
Steph, he gonna call me a groupie, but I'm married. You're married. I got a wife and daughter. You only live once, and I know you got commitments. But before you dip, we got to get a photo of me, you, and Steiny.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Because if I go home, if you didn't do it again, I didn't get it. Is that cool? And that's okay.
No
He gonna be on you groupie.
You could have asked him that after the interview, so not everybody heard it. But that's all right. That's all right. Thanks, Steph, man. Appreciate it, Steph. Good luck the rest of the way, man.
Right on. The chef.